See now what you did there was start thinking with your white brain and centering yourself, and you done left logic behind.
Hi cousins, and welcome back again on another episode. How are you all doing today? I hope you guys are doing great, and if you are joining for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in, and please don't make this your last time. So you know what you have to do, smash the subscribe button and turn your bell notification on. I came across a very funny video. This video is funny to me because you guys are going to find out when I start playing the clip, because this has to be a joke. It really has to be a joke. A white woman decided to talk about their culture because, you know, she said she will even start gatekeeping her culture. She decided to tell us what the white culture is, and I am so in shock that this is what white culture is. Let me roll the clip.
On today's edition with Lady Bedazzled Hannah, I will be answering your question, what is white culture? The wording of white culture is a broad term that I use that umbrellas the many diversities within us white skin-toned people. And I think the same can be said of other ethnicities, because with brown culture, red culture, yellow culture, black culture, as well as white culture, we need a foundation that builds into all that we really are on every level. It can get really complicated because we get into all the factors of nationalities, countries, ethnicities, cultures, and races, but not one person is just one background. So this is where it's really interesting and fascinating. So to me, white culture is industrialism, cultivation, intelligence, cleanliness, order, generosity, and so much more. Check out my ethnic background. Don't forget some things don't show up in the test results. Good and evil exists in all cultures.
This lady said white culture is intelligent, it's cleanliness. I think this is where a lot of people are like, hold on, what are you saying? White culture is cleanliness when you guys even have history of not bathing. When you guys even have history of seeing bathing, like washing your body, as weird or even poor people thing. It's not giving what she thought it was going to give. Culture is intelligence. Like, are you telling me that other people, other races are not intelligent? Because I don't understand. Like, so if other people are intelligent, so they are appropriating your own culture. Like, it's not giving what it's supposed to give. There are so many comments, so many stitches that are very funny. I don't even know why it's funny to me. Maybe because of the part where she said white culture is cleanliness, and we have seen so many videos saying otherwise on TikTok especially. I am going to roll the clip of what the people are saying about what she said before I start reading some funny comments to you guys, because when she shared this video and people started commenting, she said they are going to start gatekeeping their culture, which is cleanliness, intelligence, and it is still very funny to me. Let me roll the clip of what the people are saying, because yeah, they schooled her and they still made some funny stitches as well. So let's roll the clip.
Industrialism, cultivation, intelligence, cleanliness, order, generosity, and so much more. Check out my ethnic background. Don't forget some things don't show up in the test results. Good and evil exists in all cultures.
What the f? There's so many things to address. It's always, and I just figured the best way that I could talk about white culture was to talk about whiteness. You know, because I actually go online when I have a question. I don't just listen to random bedazzled ladies on TikTok about what whiteness is. Today we'll be looking at the Smithsonian website. I'll have the, source at the bottom. At the National Museum of African American History and Culture, we believe that any productive conversation on race must start with honesty, respect for others, and an openness to ideas and information that provide new perspectives. We hope that this portal will be an ever-evolving place that will continue to grow, develop, and ensure that we listen to one another in a spirit of civility and common cause. Whiteness and white radicalized identity refer to the way that white people, their customs, culture, and beliefs operate as a standard by which all other groups are compared. Whiteness is also at the core of understanding race in America. Whiteness and the normalization of white radical identity throughout America's history have been created culture where non-white persons are seen as inferior or abnormal. This white dominant culture also operates as a social mechanism that grants advantages to white people since they can navigate society both by feeling normal and viewed as normal. Persons who identify as white rarely have to think about their racial identity because they live in a culture where whiteness has been normalized. Thinking about race is very different for people who are not white in America. People of color must always consider their racial identity, whatever the situation, due to the systemic and interpersonal racism that still exists. Whiteness and its accepted normality also exist as everyday microaggressions towards people of color. Acts of microaggressions include verbal, nonverbal, and environmental slights, snubs, or insults towards non-whites. Whether intentional or not, these attitudes communicate hostile, derogatory, or harmful messages. Toni Morrison writes, "In this country, America means white. Everybody else has to hyphenate." There's definitely going to be a part 2 because to understand white culture, you have to understand whiteness in its entirety from the beginning. And this is where a lot of people struggle. White privilege. Since white people in America hold most of the political, institutional, and economic power, they receive advantages that non-white groups do not. These benefits and advantages of varying degrees are known as white privilege. For many white people, this can be hard to hear, understand, or accept, but it is true. If you are white in America, you have benefited from the color of your skin. Now, the thing I like about this website is because they actually are here to help you if you are struggling with the concept of white privilege and the historical value that holds in America. So stop and think. How does being white grant certain privileges? How might people who are white experience oppression through other social identities like class, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or ability? White people can possess other marginalized parts of their identity, but their race is not one of these. To learn more, click the link because I definitely want to go down that rabbit hole. Being white does not mean you haven't experienced hardships or oppression. Being white does mean you have not faced hardships or oppression based on the color of your skin. We need to be honest about the ways white people have benefited from racism so we can work towards an equitable, fair, and just society. In white privilege, Unpacking the Visible Knapsack, scholar Peggy McIntosh, writes, white privilege is like an invisible weightless knapsack of special provisions, maps, passports, code books, visas, clothes, tools, and blank checks. There are some examples she gives on what white privilege looks like, and here are those. So if you have any of these thoughts and you can think them comfortably, it's not a problem for you to exist within these situations, then you, my friend, are benefiting from white privilege.
And to me, white culture is industrialism, cultivation, intelligence, cleanliness, order, generosity, and so
No, sis! White culture is dialing 911, asking for a manager, running up the stairs in a horror movie, bringing a gun to shoot up a theater at said horror movie, bringing a gun to shoot up a school, having a large platform as a school shooter, joining the KKK, flying a Trump flag in the back of your truck, wearing anything Confederacy, putting costumes on animals, wearing your outside shoes in the house, letting the cats walk on the countertop, not washing your legs in the shower, explaining someone else's culture to them, eating deep-fried cauliflower, protesting for dead animals but not people, bringing guns to church, becoming fragile when we're caught out on anything, thinking we're superior than other races when we have absolutely zero evidence, revising history, telling people born in America to go back to their country, listening to country music, holding up a dead fish on a dating app, thinking Jesus is white, believing unfettered capitalism is the best thing for them, putting raisins in shit that it has no business being in, eating cottage cheese, knowing exactly how many colored friends you have, saying colored, unseasoned chicken, bringing potato salad to the cookout, driving in circles and calling it a sport, only knowing how to cook meth, getting divorced from your sister, unpaid internships, bumper stickers, music piracy, New Balance shoes, $10 coffees, calling your parents by their first name, religions that their parents don't belong to, going to the farmer's market, camping, ugly sweater parties, shopping without being harassed, having your house appraised at fair value, not having to teach my kids how to deal with cops, Knowing your kids will be given curricular material that will testify to the existence of their race. Not seeing color. Forgetting the past. Experiencing prejudice and calling it racism. Having your voice heard. Believing your struggle is equivalent to oppression.
I agree with you, and I encourage you to keep all that white culture to yourself. Yes, keep that. Please keep your unseasoned chicken, your caring, your vinegar and deviled eggs, ew, that potato salad with raisins, and that mac and cheese that's dry because you ain't putting no milk in it, or egg, or seasonings. Please keep your culture of genocide and global destruction to yourself. The rest of us are okay. Keep the racism, the classism, the sexism to yourself. And never bother us again. And I promise, no one will ever be mad that you have gate-kept white culture. Not a peep for me that you're gatekeeping your white culture. Please keep it to yourself.
I'm just curious. Which part of your culture are you gonna gatekeep? The theft? Where's your traditional dances? What's your traditional music? Because there's not one genre of American music that didn't come from black folks first. Yeah, even your country, your rock and roll, that came from us. Your dancing? How about your style of clothing you wear? There is no white people culture. When are you going to realize that, your culture is where you come from? It's not white people. German, that's culture. Stuff like that. Italian, that's culture. Jewish.
Well, hello, Hannah. I happened to stumble across my For You page, and your wonderful comment popped up. And I'm just a little confuzzled. You said that it's high time us white people gatekeep our culture. Yeah. What culture would that be? Would it be the Klan? Or would it be the one you took from the indigenous people, Latin American, the Asian community, or the black one? I'm just curious. Which one of those would you be trying to gatekeep? I'm just curious, a little confuzzled on that part. One moment. So I see that you got 26,000 followers. It's awesome. With 2.3 million likes. And I see that you're about family and things to that nature, but it just confuzzles me because, you're homeschooling and stuff like that. What are you teaching your little ones? Because the way that you're typing and the way that you're moving is just not matching up for me. So I just wanted people to know who you are, One moment. It amazes me how people such as yourself get bothered by certain things that you feel that you don't like, because we talk about our hair, our skin, we try to educate you on the hair, we try to educate you on the culture of us and things of that nature, and your only rebuttal was something such as foolish as this. So I hope in my mutual's voice that the ancestors of my people judge you harshly, because the foolishness that you are displaying at this very moment with the winky eye is just not the type of energy that a mother, family person should be teaching. If you can't teach inclusiveness, I'm sorry, I couldn't even get it out, I apologize. If you can't teach inclusiveness, love all people, then baby, what are you teaching your children? I'm just curious about that part. But you have the day that you deserve. May many thoughts and cheers come your way. You be blessed now. You be blessed.
What do you guys think think about what they all said. The very first stitch, I love how that creator literally took us through that journey of learning for a few minutes. I think it was actually great because she needed to be schooled. Maybe she does not know what she's talking about. Then the second stitch, the white guy was literally saying and talking about what we have known white culture to be. Maybe she made a mistake. Every single thing she said in her video is the opposite of what white culture, what we have seen white culture to be. I've got some comments here. This person said, how is white culture generosity when they have stolen land and colonized 70%? 70% of the world, the global community settler. I think I heard that from EVA's video. Another person now have a question for her. This person said, because this is white culture, is it inherently not other cultures? And she replied and said, it is usually more noticeable in white culture, but not exclusive. So cleanliness, generosity, intelligence is more noticeable in white people. It gets funnier. Another person said white culture is delusion. And I think she's been delusional, if we're being honest. Another person said, if that is what you think white culture is, do you ever get self-conscious about lacking intelligence and cultivation? Sarcasm. This is very sarcastic. This person said, Africans taught Europeans to bathe, so cleanliness is definitely not white culture. The entire thing she talked about is not white culture. Another comment I have here said, white people were quite literally the root of just about every conflict and problem in society. Honestly, white culture is simply fucking the shite up, okay? This person said, white culture is the complete opposite of everything you mentioned. You're making white people look even worse. Are you Christian by any chance? I don't know how that got into it, but that was what this person said. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you all so much for joining. And if you have not subscribed, please do so before you go. Smash the subscribe button and turn your bell notification on. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. And I love you guys.